the outside, it looks like professional guitar players are using chord shapes and scale patterns from a completely different planet, as if they're just pulling ideas out of thin air. And while there is some truth to that, there's a big misconception hiding underneath it all. After years of practicing triads, scale patterns, modes, and every system you can think of, I ended up somewhere I didn't expect, right back where I started. So today, I want to show you how we can take simple chord shapes you already know, like open and bar chords, and show you how we can use these in a whole new way. A way that allows you to create musical, expressive rhythm guitar parts without adding more complexity. So first, bar chords are part of the K system, the E form, the A form. The other two shapes are the C form and the G form, which are really the two shapes most guitar players don't know. Why is this? Because it forces you to use your pinky and play in a true position. But this is super important to learn this shape because if you never learn how to play in a position, scales and arpeggios are always going to feel like an uphill battle. You know, a lot of players are putting their thumb over and their hands tilted like this, and they're trying to play, you know, I don't know, something like that, you know, which is really uncomfortable to play when it comes to getting across the fingerboard. We want that open hand. I say C chord and you see me playing up here, so where did I get that from? Well, we all know the open C, and if you take that open string right here and you were to refinger it and imagine that as a fret, we move one fret up and so on, and that's how we get this finger to a fret type of position. So an open G chord, for example, would be this. So we think of those open strings again, and there it is. We shift up, and now we're into that G shape. By the way, in the description, there is a link to a bunch of free resources that will make visualizing scales and these chord shapes, if you are not as familiar with them, much easier and will be a great thing to follow along with in today's video. So these chord shapes can be used over and over in an interesting way as long as we understand how to relate them in a key. For this video today, we will be in the key of E major. If we understand how to see a major scale both on the 5th string and the 6th string, we can start using these chords to branch off each scale degree to make its own chord. So the number system in today's key, E major, 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 1 major, 2 minor, and for the C form, 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major. The G form, here's the 5 chord. So notice how the G form branches up to the A shape. You see that? It's like this little shape and this shape. And I like to call these C form, G form shapes staircases because they kind of look like a little staircase going down, right? And then we have the C shape, and it branches into a D shape, just like our open one over here, right? So it's important to try to take each one of these shapes, the E shape, and just understand how that tracks in the key, right? No, that's the 5. No, that's the 4. No, that's the 3, the 2, the 1. Get on the other string with the A shape. 1, 2, 1, 5, 4, 5, 1, 6, right? And do that with all of them. Staircase shape, 5, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, diminished. Look at the sheet for that. 1. So practice going up and down the neck a lot with these and get very familiar with the number system and how they relate to them. So what we need to keep in mind when approaching something like a bar chord is that it contains a broad range of notes, some in the low end and some in the top. So with that being said, lower notes serve a different role than higher notes in music. Bass guitars don't typically play a lot of chords. They'd be really muddy otherwise. Rather, they typically play single notes to create separation from the mid-range and the high-end parts in the music. So power chords, which are part of, say, the A form or the E form, they tend to take on the role more of like the bass and drums for the guitar. But you get so much more, especially if you're trying to create more dimensional guitar parts, by taking the bottom note of the power chord and then the next 2 notes and separating them as like kind of left hand, right hand, or kick snare. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 4. that's creating a nice foundation for us to start branching off of that as the starting point. And so if we break these chords up, 3 notes will give us triads a lot of the time out of these shapes. Let's see, 4, right? 5, 5 up here. There's that D shape hidden in that C form, right? So the C form also, if we break that up, the minor version, it's another one of those instances that's going to force us to really have, one note here and a chord shape here. And, that's one of the big spins I'm putting on the chords you already know. You probably don't know these ones. Probably don't use them a lot if you do know about them. That's because this shape, if you try it just from a positional perspective, seems kind of like, okay, I can play an arpeggio. Which is a great thing, by the way, if I'm thinking something like... Right? It can add more to developing parts. But if you break it up like this, it's a great way to start having more variations with that punchy type of approach. It shouldn't just only be limited to your E and A form bar chord. So we can take that shape all the way up. 2, 4, 6, 5, 1. And by the way, this is a great way to practice the entire key. So you can take that string set as like arpeggios and do something like... So yeah, break these things up, just like I did. Take the bar chords. So by breaking them up, letting some of them ring, arpeggiating them, that's stuff that is totally gonna help get a lot of sound out of these. And so we're in the key of E, so E major pentatonic is going to sound great over all this if we know how to approach it. And so thinking E major pentatonic or C sharp minor pentatonic, you can do the approach we did. So like if you play them as double stops, you can ring them together and get that Hendrix sound. Or in this off the C shape, you get a lot of it. Maybe every other one. Right? Tons of information there. And you notice I don't do it like on everything. You still maintain that, percussive. And mix it up, right? But so much is really in that pocket of trying to be intentional about having a good, bounce to the rhythm and all that. And the scales themselves can be good fills, up to 1.